NHL regular season recap, night 44. There are 15 games going on tonight, so we're going to have to rip through all these. The first game is the Rangers taking on the Flyers at 1 o'clock. The Flyers were the significantly better team in this one, but some early goals from Zibanejad, Kreider, and then a second from Zibanejad are enough to power the Rangers through. Sean Couturier did score one in the second, but that would be the only goal the Flyers scored. It ends up being a 3-1 final. Igor Shesterkin was unreal. He stopped 36 of 37, including 14 shots in the third period alone. For some reference there, the Rangers had 19 throughout the entire game, including just 3 in the third. So a big game from Chesty. He takes them to a 3-1 victory over the Flyers. The second 1 o'clock game today was the Red Wings visiting the Bees. A pretty even game here by most standards. The shots were just 2 apart, that being 29 for the Red Wings and 27 for the Bruins, including identical shot totals for the first and second, the third being the one period separated by 2. Ville Husso stopping 25 of 27, while Swayman stops 24 of 28. The Red Wings tack on an empty netter to make it a 5-3 final. Goals here from Comfort, DeBrincat, Fabry, Larkin, and Perron. For the Bruins, it's just Jake DeBrusk and Danton Heinen. The Maple Leafs taking on the Blackhawks at 2 o'clock here. And the Hawks might just be the Leafs' kryptonite. They sweep the season series in this one with a 4-3 overtime victory. Goals for the Hawks from Dickinson. He had 3 of them. The overtime hero is Kevin Korchinski off of a shot that went about 10 feet in the air off of a Bedard wrister from the slot. Looks like Kershaw got an assist on this one as well. So it was just a mess in the overtime. But for the Leafs, it's Nick Robertson, Calle Yarncroke, and Ryan Reeves with his first of the season, but not able to hold on to the once 3-1 lead that they had about halfway through the second. The Blackhawks come roaring back and win this one once again 4-3 in overtime. The Oilers visiting Washington, and Edmonton stomped all over the Caps in this one. They were the better team in just about every aspect aside from hits. McDavid collects 4 assists, Draisaitl 2 goals, 1 assist, a couple points for Evan Bouchard. Just all around the better team in this one were the Oilers. A big bounce back win that they very much needed, and we'll see if they can continue it. Meanwhile, for the Caps, it snaps a 5-game winning streak, one which they probably didn't deserve to be on after the way they closed their game against Columbus, but nonetheless, they will take it. They move to 10-5-2, while the Oilers climb to 6-12-1. The Blue Jackets visiting the Devils. This game felt eerily similar to the Rangers-Flyers game. It ends up being a 2-1 final in favor of Columbus. All 3 goals in this one scored in the first. Boone Jenner, Alex Holtz, and Eric Robinson with the eventual game winner. The Devils outshoot the Blue Jackets pretty handily, including 20-9 in the third period. Again, for reference, the Blue Jackets got just 28 shots the entire game, but they were better in that first period, and that ended up being all that mattered. Elvis Merzlikins was fantastic in this one, a .974 save percentage, giving up just 1 goal on 38 shots. Akira Schmid was also very good, giving up just 2 on 28, but tough to win when your team only gets 1, and that was the case here for New Jersey, a 2-1 final in favor of the Blue Jackets. The Predators visiting St. Louis, and both of these teams are really hard to figure out. The Preds end up winning this one by a score of 8-3. They had previously been playing a pretty bad stretch of hockey, but are now up to 4 wins in a row. For the Blues, had looked to be playing pretty good, and they've looked to stumble a bit lately. Neither of their goaltenders were good in this one. Joel Hofer stopping 11 of 15, while Binnington stopped 16 of 20. Obviously, the Preds putting a lot of shots on here, but the same can be said for the Blues, who put on 39, of which Kevin Lankinen stopped 36 of them. Not going to go through the goal stores, but the 3 stars in this one were Luke Evangelista, Philip Forsberg, and Kiefer Sherwood, each with 3 points. So a big game for the Preds, and the Blues take another stumbling step down. We'll see if they can rebound in their next game. Kings visiting their rivals in Anaheim, and they end up taking this one by a final score of 5-2. Cam Talbot stopping 29 of 31, while John Gibson falls back to earth a bit here, stopping just 26 of 31. So the shots here pretty even. 2 goals for Kevin Fiala, 1 for Arthur Kaliev, 1 for Quentin Byfield, and another for Anze Kopitar. For the Ducks, Radko Gudas with his 4th of the year, and Alex Killorn's first as a Duck. But the Kings, as expected, just the better team here. They keep rolling. Montreal taking on the Sharks, and the Sharks were so close in this one, but they do end up falling to the Canadiens in a shootout. They did have a lead going into the third. Second period goals from Mike Hoffman, William Eklund, and Kovacevic. In the third, though, Cole Caulfield, just a few minutes into it, ties things up. And in the shootout, we go 6 rounds, where Ylonen is the hero. 2 goals in the first round as well from Suzuki and Eklund. Both goalies were pretty good. Mackenzie Blackwood stopping 22 of 24, while Caden Primo stops 31 of 33, and a whole bunch in the shootout as well. A 3-2 shootout win for the Canadiens. Pittsburgh visiting Buffalo. Full transparency, I had no clue the way this game ended until about 2 seconds ago when I checked the stat sheet. I thought the Penguins won this one, but 3 third-period goals by Buffalo powers them to the victory by a final of 3-2. Goals for the Penguins from Crosby and Eller. In the third period, though, it's all Sabres. Jeff Skinner, Kyle Okposo, and Alex Tuck, three of their big guys, come through when they're needed most. Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen pretty solid in this one as well, stopping 31 of 33, while Nettie stops 31 of 34 for the Penguins. I love to see it as a Capitals fan. A much-needed win for the Sabres, though. They moved to 9-2, good for 6th in the Atlantic. With Vasi coming back, the way the Panthers have been playing, they need every single point they can get, and this is a big regulation win for them. The Islanders taking on the Ottawa Senators, and the Sens looked good to start this game. They opened the scoring with the Drake Batherson power play goal, and from there it's mostly Isles. 4 unanswered, 1 in the first, 3 in the second from Palmieri, Wahlstrom, Barzal, and Anders Lee, before Stützle and Batherson once again make it close. But in the third period, Simone Holmstrom makes it a 5-3 game. No more goals from there. Anton Forsberg stopping 21 of 25, while Semyon Varlamov stops 28 of 31. Definitely the better goalie in this one. The Sens run a bit of a winning streak, so not a huge deal they lose this game, but they are still 8th in the Atlantic, while the Islanders move their win streak up to, I believe, 3 or 4 games, so a big win there for them. They're up to 5th in the Metro. The Jets taking on the Panthers, and no, not the football Jets today. Connor Hellebuck and Sergei Bobrovsky are both fantastic in this one. For those of you that have watched the channel for a bit or know me personally, you know I love a good goalie battle, and this was exactly that. Bobrovsky stopping 28 of 30 in the losing effort, but was still fantastic. Hellebuck stopping 33 of 33 in the shutout winning effort. For the Jets, the 3 goals from Niederreiter, Ehlers, and then Adam Lowry with the empty netter. This team continues to impress. The Panthers played a good game, don't get it wrong, but this Jets team has just been rolling lately. They stay in third in the Central for now. The Lightning visiting the Carolina Hurricanes, the return of the big cat, Andrei Vasilevsky, for the Lightning. But that was not the story tonight. He was solid. He stops 22 of 24. On the other end of the ice was the real story. Antti Raanta faces just 14 shots and gives up 8 goals, a .429 save percentage for Raanta. Not all these goals were bad goals, but you need more than 6 saves on 14 shots. I don't know I didn't get to watch a lot of this game, be honest, but I don't know why the shots were so low. I don't know what happened to Raanta. A lot of these were power play goals. Kucherov was all over the place. Point was all over the place. He had a hat trick. Kucherov with 2 goals and 4 assists. So the big guys were doing big guy things, but Raanta needs a freaking save, man. This is a tough loss for the Hurricanes coming off a very big win against Edmonton. Calgary taking on the Dallas Stars. This was a pretty entertaining back-and-forth game, really, until the third period, when the Stars gave up 4 unanswered to the Flames, and that really sealed the deal for it. Obviously, that being said, they led heading into the third 4-3, and then in the third, it's Coleman, Lindholm, Backlund, and Kadri with the 4 goals for the Flames. Kind of a rough ending of the game there for Ottinger, who was pretty good despite having the sub-900 save percentage heading into the third. Similar deal for Markstrom. Some big saves either way, but the numbers aren't really going to be all that impressive. Again, in this one, a lot of goal scorers, so I'm not going to go through everyone, but kind of a tough loss for the Stars, who had been looking pretty strong leading into this game, but this is a really, really tough loss from a Calgary team who's been kind of middle of the road for the majority of this season. The Avs taking on the Wild in a Central Division rivalry matchup. The story of this game really all happened before the game. It was Fleury with his Native American heritage mask. Glad to see him kind of stick it to the league and just go for it anyway. I think the whole situation with a lot of the stuff going on in the league this year has been kind of just clownish, so glad to see him stick it to them, not be afraid of whatever is going to come down the road for him as a result of that. But nonetheless, the game went on. He did not play. Of course, Philip Gustafsson getting the start in this one. He was not that great. He gives up 3 on 25 shots. Not terrible, but not good enough for the win. Georgiev gives up just 2 on 21. Goals for the Avs from Colton, Nichushkin, and McDermott with his first of the year. For the Wild, it's Kaprizov getting on the scoreboard again, which is good to see, and Eriksson Ek. The Avs just slightly better in this one, though. It was a pretty even matchup, a little bit back and forth, but the Avs do pick up the victory. It's a 3-2 regulation final for them. And the final of the 15 games from today were the Canucks taking on the Kraken. This was another pretty good game, pretty back and forth again until the third period when things opened up a little bit more. Thatcher Demko with a, Vezina-like performance despite not facing a ton of quantity of shots. He stops 23 of 24. Joey Daccord in the losing effort stops 22 of 27. He was really good, though, again, up until the third when the Canucks kind of opened things up. It was really just the latter half of the third period where things got a little bit ugly for Seattle, but the game was a lot closer than the scoreboard will represent. A good back and forth game. 5-1 doesn't really do it justice, but nonetheless, that is it for NHL regular season recap night 44. The Canucks cap this one off with the 5-1 victory, and we will see you guys tomorrow for night 45. I believe there's 8 games tomorrow, which is light for a Saturday, but I'll take advantage of that. We'll see you guys tomorrow.